seems to, he's done it in the past and did it again yesterday, where he has a reception and he retreats because he thinks he's going to be able to get around. Rarely, in my memory, has he turned it into more of a game out of that. Where did he come out on that play, and what's he being coached to do there? Harry did the same thing, I think, later, too.
Yeah, Harry was not as bad. I mean, what Harry's trying to do was just take a step back and hopefully a guy, he makes a guy miss on the tackle. Kendall has done this a number of times, and he's trying to make something bigger. But in this league, with the pursuit and the speed of the defenses, we could have possibly gotten 7 or 8 more yards on the play than we did. And they're all taught catch and turn up. That's what we want, catch and turn up. And again, he's got to see it himself.
Where would you say Marcus is at this point of the season in terms of his development with where you'd want him to be, and particularly, his ability to read through multiple?
I think he's on track for what we expected him. I think he's. Some of those throws yesterday, the throw to Craig Stevens and Harry on the double move. Those are tight throws. Those are throws he trusts these guys to make the plays. And the one thing he's seen a lot. He's seen a lot of different defenses. You wonder what we do here on Mondays and Tuesdays, but these are all different defenses, different looks, different blitzes, different people coming after him. I mean, he has seen a lot, and I think he's progressed very well.
How's he been at, when the play breaks down, improvising and maybe having to go past the first couple of reads and things like that?
He's done well. He's done, and yesterday there was one play, prior to the touchdown or the interference on Harry in the end zone, got out of the pocket, threw it in the end zone, and didn't take a sack. Let's go on to the next play. Went on the next play. We got an interference call, scored a touchdown the next play. But those are things that are as positive as finding guys. If there isn't anybody, just take the incompletion and move on. And he did that.
You see him as kind of being a self-motivated guy. I mean, obviously you've never been through a season like this before. Do you worry about that affecting his confidence or his
I don't think so. Based on my time around him, his approach is very professional. It always is. He doesn't flinch very much about a lot of things, but I don't see him doing probably anything but trying to come in and do something better. I mean, that's kind of the emphasis now. We all got to find a way to do our jobs better.
How curious are you to see how Marcus does in a second go-around against an opponent? He's going to get that chance with Jacksonville. He seems like a smart guy who takes stuff from the first time and kind of learns from it. He
does, and it is kind of nice that you're playing that same opponent 2 weeks later, because there's enough familiarity. You don't have to go back. This is the personnel. This is what they do. This is the front. I mean, and plus they're not real complicated as far as scheme-wise. Obviously, they have their blitz packages, but I think it's good that it's this close for everybody, not just Marcus. But it'll be good to see how he reacts to playing the same team in 3 weeks.
You got touchdown catches yesterday from Stevens and Fowler, guys who hadn't done that earlier. Is that stuff that you've sort of added to the offense since you've been here, or is that taking advantage of tendencies that defenses are now reacting to at this point in the year?
Well, we're throwing the ball a little more with the personnel groupings. That was a 3 tight end set that is a heavy run set for us. If anybody's doing our tendencies, we like to run the ball out of it. But we've hit some plays out of that same grouping. And the one thing about Craig, I'll say this: he is, when his number's been called, and it probably should be called more, he's really made the plays for us. The goal line play, again, you're trying to give as much of a play look, a run look over here, and sneak out the fullback, and that was a good play by both quarterback and Nudie. But those are heavy run looks formationally and personnel-wise to give the impression we're going to hammer you over here, but we're going to hit you on the back end of things. And those are things that we've always been doing, but with different personnels now.
What's it say about this franchise's talent acquisition? Your top 2 receivers, or your top 2 drafted receivers yesterday combined for under 50 yards, and they've got an undrafted rookie who's catching for 112.
Well, obviously you'd like to have better production. I think where our production was lacking the most, and obviously everybody knows that, was third down. We had some one-on-one situations that we had chances to win, and we have to. I mean, we have to every Sunday. That's going to be the case. I mean, that's the NFL. But execution can be better. We got to do a better job, maybe scheming to try to get these guys in better position, whether it's formationally or personnel-wise or whatever it is, to help these guys.
Why do they need so much help? I mean, don't
Now, you know,
Kendall and Harry and Dory Allen think that they win one-on-ones?
Yeah,
Their job?
yes, yeah, it is. That's their job.
How come they're unable to do their job?
Not consistently. Not consistently would be the best way to say it. For one reason or another, that we, as coaches, are going to try to do a better job of helping them. I mean, when we sit in there on Tuesdays, we're constantly trying to find out, not just the receivers, but every position, of how do we put our guy in a better advantage than the guy he's going across, because there's going to be some mismatches at some point, somewhere, for everybody. And our job is to find a way to get an advantage for our guys, and we're trying to do that. That's why we spend the time we do.
I know you don't want Marcus to take any sacks necessarily. Is there a field awareness he needs to develop about field goal range, and is that sack a different kind of sack than the other sack? You would like him, obviously, to. I think he already knows where we are. We've already talked about it. It's already on the headphones that we are in range. We know the range as we're driving down the field, but also we just, the 2 sacks we had yesterday, we try to cut outside with our protection, and we've never done that. We do on quick passing game, but on drop back passing game, we don't cut. For some reason, we decide to cut, and that's where the hits came from. And so he's not, Marcus is not, again, expecting our line to cut defenders. They're supposed to stay up and block them. And so, that's been corrected.
Were those tackles?
Yes.
What was your evaluation of Quentin Spain's first start?
I was pretty pleased. I mean, there's some things he can be better with his hands, but I thought he played about as physical as you can play for your first start. He did some good things. I think, he and, even Trey McBride to come in and do some of the things he did, those guys the more experience they get, the better they're gonna be. But that was good for him.
You talked about Spain. You talked about Spain as a matchup situation, though. You plan on sticking with him, or do you?
Right now, that's the plan. Just after watching the film today and talking with the coaches, that's the plan, is just stick with that lineup. We're trying to find one, and I know better than anybody that it's important to keep a line together and to work together, and that one was fine yesterday. We're going to continue with it.
Jeremiah was inactive yesterday. Is his progress not where you want it to be, or was it a numbers thing?
It was really more of Jamont playing every position. He has played in the NFL. He's played every position. And Jeremiah could, but I know Jamont has, in NFL games, played every position if we had to put him in there.
I know it's hard to do because you mentioned you want to stick with the same line, but would it be good to get Jeremiah to finish the season maybe on a high note, maybe from a confidence level? It would be, I guess, a tough way to go out, losing your starting job and then being.
Yeah, he's handled it extremely well. I don't think we're at that point right now. I liked some of the things Quentin did yesterday, and Byron, again, has played well when he's been in there, and he's done a couple yesterday trying to cut back. That was not what we wanted, but I think he understands that now.
I know you had said that David Cobb was going to get more of an opportunity this game after, I think it was 4 carries against the Jaguars, had 3 this game. Why not use him a little bit more?
That really wasn't the plan. It was to get him more involved. Obviously, we didn't rush the ball as many times as we anticipated in the first half. With 7 rushes, we got to do a better job of that. That's us as coaches to try to establish a run. I don't care if it's 7 yards for 7 carries. Okay, we've been in situations like that a week ago when we had 20 yards after 13 carries and came back and gained 80. We got to just try to establish the run a little bit better early in the first half, and he has to be a part of that.
Just comes down to play calling.
Well, it just depends on the rotation and what we're doing protection-wise, but definitely want to get him more chances.
What were the issues?